The CDC reports that 1 in 3 diarrhea-related illnesses and 1 in 5 respiratory illnesses can be prevented by proper hand washing. Unless you've been living under a rock, you have heard about COVID-19. So now more than ever, it's important we're doing our part to reduce the spread of disease-causing pathogens. Germs are microscopic microorganisms capable of causing disease. They're naturally found on your skin, in your mouth and nose, and in our everyday lives. They play a role in keeping us healthy, but what happens when we don't keep them under control? Today, I want to talk to you about how germs are spread, when you should wash your hands with soap and water, and the correct technique to follow to ensure your efforts are maximized. There are 3 main ways germs can spread from person to person. The first is through contact. These germs can be found on dry surfaces such as countertops or door handles, or wet surfaces such as sinks and toilets. Touching these and then touching your face or someone else without washing your hands first is an example of contact transmission. The second is airborne. These germs are very small particles and travel through the air and are inhaled. 2 examples of these are chickenpox and measles. And the third way germs are spread is droplets. These germs are spread from person to person by coughing, sneezing, or talking in close distance to one another. The particles are large and tend to fall to the ground or surfaces, which can then lead to their spread through contact if the surfaces are not cleaned properly. The best way to reduce passing germs to one another is to wash your hands often. But there are definitely times when washing your hands is more important than others. For instance, before you eat, to ensure the germs you came in contact with earlier in the day are washed away before you touch your mouth, since your mouth is a major entry point for germs. After using the restroom, when your hands may be contaminated with feces, many people may not realize that alcohol-based hand sanitizer does not eliminate germs that live in poop, such as C. diff, which can cause an intestinal infection. So soap and water is required. And finally, if your hands are visibly soiled, soap and water is a must. Don't just goop on hand sanitizer and think you've done a good job. The key to reducing the amount of germs on your hands, and therefore reducing the risk of passing them on, is to wash correctly. The first step in good hand washing is choosing the right soap. A mild, non-abrasive version is best. Unless you are in a healthcare setting, there is no need to use an antibacterial soap because it will strip the good germs with the bad. The next step is to turn on the faucet to lukewarm water. There's no need to use hot water. This will only dry your hands and strip your natural oils, leaving your skin cracked and vulnerable to infection. The next step is to lather and scrub. Soap is a surfactant, meaning it reduces surface tension, which reduces the ability of the germs to stick to your hands. Scrubbing creates friction, further breaking the bonds of the germs to your skin. Studies show that by lathering and scrubbing for at least 20 seconds, you can reduce the amount of germs on your hands significantly. Don't forget your fingernails. Germs love to live under there. The next step is to rinse. After all that lathering and scrubbing lifted the dirt and debris, rinsing washes the germs down the sink and reduces skin irritation. Use running water because stagnant water has contaminants. The last step is drying your hands. Using a clean towel, dry from fingertips to wrists. When finished drying, take a clean paper towel and turn the faucet off. Remember, you just adjusted the temperature with your dirty hands, so touching the faucet will recontaminate. I hope this has informed you how easy germs can pass from person to person and the necessary steps to take in order to reduce your risk of contracting a diarrhea-related or respiratory-related illness. To summarize, understanding how germs are spread and the ways to prevent transmission, knowing when to use soap and water instead of hand sanitizer, and performing the proper hand hygiene techniques will help keep you healthy. Remember, spread kindness, not germs.